Welcome to the Squared Circle Pit with your host, Rob Pasbani.
Now entering the Squared Circle Pit, looks like the excellent underground heavy metal label $20 spin. I have Jason Cantu entering the pit. Welcome, Jason. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Squared Circle Pit.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, and I'm excited to have you on. We're going to be talking about WWE Backlash, which happened this past weekend in France. In Lyon, France.
Man, they were rowdy.
But right before that, I wanted to mention, I saw that you actually went to WrestleMania, or perhaps the WrestleMania festivities. What was that like?
Yeah, WrestleMania 40 was my first one ever. My wife and I went, and we had a blast. I think the memory that stands out the most, really, is when we're at WWE World, and they have like an entrance for the fans. And, of course, it's a long line, so we skipped it, but we watched a couple people come in through. And this little kid, I guess the Stone Cold, theme music comes out, comes on, and he comes out just like waving birds just to everyone. Everyone's just like clapping and yelling for him. It was just amazing. That was like the best memory. But yeah, 40 ruled, man. It was awesome. Had a great time. We both dressed up as Stone Cold also, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
nice.
cool.
How long have you been watching wrestling?
Maybe a year, maybe less than a year. I mean,
really? You're fresh.
I mean, fresh off. I started when I was a kid, and then
Okay.
and then again in like middle school and high school, and then now. So there's like big gaps like in between all of those.
What's your earliest wrestling memory? Like the first angle or match that you remember seeing?
I definitely used to watch like on TV all the time. And then the first match I ever went to as a kid, man, I looked this up like when I first got into it, maybe like 8 months ago or 10 months ago around there. But it was this match in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I was born. And I think it was WWF came. I don't think it was a WCW match, but I remember it was like an insane roster, and I looked it up and I can't remember who else was there. I know Hogan was there. I think Macho Man was there. I think Undertaker might have been there, possibly. I have to look it up again. I'll send it to you because I gotta find it. It's it's like somewhere in the interwebs, yeah, in the caves of it. But they have a whole entire roster, someone listed of all the shows that happened in the city, and around that time period, I tracked it down. I was like, what was that show? And I found it. But yeah, so I gotta find it again. But yeah, so
Cool.
that was first match as a kid, and then never got to go to a match until recently. I went to Payback here in Pittsburgh, and that was really cool. And then we went to AEW show, and that was really awesome. We have floor seats for that one. I was stoked to see House of Black. I like those guys. And then
So wait, you said you got into it as a kid, then you fell out of it. Which makes sense, it stops being cool for a while. But then you got back into it as a teenager, I'm guessing in like the Attitude Era?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And Steve Austin was your dude?
Oh, dude, everyone's dude. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And also Cactus Jack, I'm assuming, based on the shirt that you're wearing.
Dude, you know it, man. I got my flannel here. Absolutely. It's a little too warm though. I was wearing it earlier, and I'm like, nah, I gotta take
Now,
it off.
being as you're in the Northeast now, I don't know if you were in the Northeast then. Were you an ECW guy at all?
A little bit, because I feel like whenever it was on, I would just miss it. I would catch like the end credits, and it would always be like Sandman there holding his like stick and drinking beer and just bloody. I'm like, what happened? I missed it again. I just never got to catch a whole entire show of ECW. Of course, until later on, when WWF
Yes.
bought it, but doesn't really count,
So-
kind of. But
Yeah, actually, that's so funny. My only ECW arena show was the first WWE ECW event when they brought it back, and
Oh,
like
sick.
the fans totally turned on the show because it was kind of brutal.
Yeah. Do you feel like
it was
do you feel like Paul Heyman might have like tanked it on purpose under like Vince McMahon's orders if they would bring him on at the WWF? So he kind of just
Well,
made it
what's so
flop.
funny to that point? What's so funny is the crowd was kind of shitting on it, like chanting "This show sucks," stuff like that. Because there was like Big Show, non ECW guys, people we didn't really want
Yeah.
to see, or like Mike Knox.
Sure.
And Paul Heyman actually came out, and it was very weird politicking because he essentially said something along the lines of, "Hey, I know this isn't what you want, but this is what the people above me are telling me I need to do. So
there
if
you
you
go.
just have a little patience with me, and you let this through, like I'll make it good again. Like so, please, like begging us to stop booing, and the crowd even booed him. They were like, "Fuck this! This sucks. We're Philly. We paid big money for this. We want to see a fucking real show." And I remember leaving the show and just hearing guys be like, "Fucking TNA was here 2 weeks ago. It was a better show than this."
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what about I really like the Shane McMahon's idea of like just doing it like online, an online show that's like unrated. You can do whatever, but you have to visit like their website or pay their online subscription. Now it's like, that'd be like I think an easy thing to do. But back then that was like really cutting edge.
Yeah, and also I just don't think that the video quality was there yet for streaming.
Good
So
call.
I'm not
Good call.
I'm not quite sure.
I mean, it could have been pre-recorded,
cool.
Yeah, it could have been recorded live and then uploaded instead of live.
Yeah, absolutely. And like maybe, I mean, if they really wanted to be ahead of things, they could have offered you like a torrent to download like a high res version of it or something like that.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you subscribe to it. But no, it wasn't meant to be, sadly.
Yeah,
but
very
for the
sadly.
best. And so what got you back into it a year ago?
Dude, I don't know, man. Just out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? Let me visit this. I've been kind of revisiting things from my youth, like from comic books and things like that. Then I was like, all right, well, what else did I used to like? I was like, I used to like wrestling a lot. Let me see what's going on with that now, and then kind of revisit the history. It's kind of my go-to thing is like see what's going on currently, and then do the deep dives. So I was like, yeah, just out of nowhere, I chose to pick it up again, and yeah, it's been fun, man. Been having a blast.
What did you start watching when you picked it up again? Was it WWE or AEW
Yeah,
or
yeah.
everything?
Well, it was WWE. Then I was like, all right, let me check out AEW as well. And I was watching both for maybe a month or two or three. I think I just fell out of AEW, just work schedule and timing. I couldn't get their schedule down for their shows correctly, and so I was like, all right, well, let me just stick with what I know. And then I got the wife really got into WWE as well. And she's like, she doesn't really care for AEW that much, but I still like watching it, so I want to get back into that again. And I'd like to get into to TNA and NWA as well. That'd be kind of fun. And I guess New Japan Wrestling, that'd be really great. I hear is good. So
Yeah, New Japan is really fun too. I mean, with New Japan, you could just stick to like the bigger shows they have once a month or so. They don't really have like a week to week. They have house shows and stuff, but if you're already on a limited time thing, you don't have to.
yeah, it's a little hard, man. But I mean, it helps like if it's things are on YouTube or whatever. Do you have like a TNA subscription?
No, I don't really follow TNA honestly. I
Okay.
follow AW and WWE. I follow AW is like my main promotion that I watch, and then with
Cool.
WWE, I'll watch SmackDown and the pay-per-views.
Okay.
I don't really watch Raw because 3 hours is a big commitment.
It is.
But I will say though, slowly but surely, like the wrestling is getting so good that I do find myself tuning into Raw more. Like I watched some of it this week because it was the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and the fallout from WrestleMania and everything, because WrestleMania was so fun. How crazy
Yeah.
was it to see The Rock live in
Oh
WrestleMania
my
two
God.
nights?
And the Undertaker as well. I mean, I was really hoping for Stone Cold, but I mean, I think a lot of people were. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it is what it is, but it still worked, man. I was just glad to see those two legends together. And I guess I'm assuming 41 is going to be Cody versus The Rock. So I think,
Yeah,
and then
right.
maybe
It has to be, right?
I mean, maybe we'll
If
get
he's
Stone
not shooting
Cold.
a movie.
Because it's in Vegas and Stone Cold's in Nevada. So it's like, all right, well, maybe it's down the road for him. Maybe he will make appearance this time.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some sort of I don't know, like heat between Stone Cold and The Rock, or maybe like Stone Cold's like, I'd rather not be overshadowed by you. Like I only have so much fame.
Yeah, maybe. It could just be Stone Cold's over it too. He's just tired and doesn't really want to sit on his ass for a stunner. It's like, nah, man, my tailbones are at.
I mean, the rumor was that they couldn't agree on a financial figure for
Yeah,
him to do it, which I'm just like, just pay Stone Cold. You could afford it.
Yeah,
You said this is the
absolutely.
most profitable WrestleMania of all time. Give Stone Cold the cash.
please, absolutely. Yeah, I think my highest like point in WWE or WWE WrestleMania 40 was when I like went to the restroom and I was like, oh, I'm like, if you're pissing and farting at the same time, give me a hell yeah. And the whole entire restroom in uproar was like, hell yeah, and laughter. And I was like, oh man, my finest comedic moment. I'll never be able to top that. But yeah, that was fun, man. Great time. I mean, we got our hotel reservation already for 41.
Oh, you're
Booked
going.
that.
You're in.
Yeah, dude, we're going, man. And I stupidly put down a down payment for the kind of pre-order ticket thing, but it's more like it's their stupid like on-site program. So it's
I was gonna
like
say
the
the
overexpense.
VIP. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, yeah.
it sucks. It's like I pretty much blew 1K for no reason because like it's non-refundable, and I don't really want to spend like more money on their packages that like I feel like aren't really worth it. But I mean, we'll see. I could be enticed by like some kind of add-on thing. Maybe I'll have like dinner with Johnny Gargano or something stupid like that. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. So
So who are your
we'll
guys right
see.
now?
What's that?
Who are like your favorites right now that you're rooting for? Like the ones
And
that.
in WWE,
Yeah.
I like LA Knight a lot. He's a lot of fun. I think he still needs some work, but he's really entertaining to watch. Trying to think who else I like, man. Yeah, not sure. Nothing really springs out of me at the top of my head. I'd probably have to think about it for a while, and I don't want to just sit here with dead hair. Yeah, not sure, man. Off the top of my head. How about you?
Okay.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have some?
Well, I mean, my favorite ultimate, like I really like Ricochet. I really wish they
Yeah,
did more with him. I like the high
he's got
flying.
the speed champion. He's the new speed champion.
I have watched some of those speed shows. They're really fun. Yeah, it's cool
Yeah,
that they're having more lucha guys like Dragon Lee. I like a lot.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
like Humberto and Angel Garza. I wish they did more with
Cool.
those guys because they're really good
Hmm.
wrestlers. But obviously, like I dig Cody Rhodes. I
Yeah,
dig.
sure.
I like what's going on with the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah. How do you think
that has
about
me
the new
gripped.
member?
I'm into it. Yeah, so let's talk about
Yeah,
Backlash. It was in France. The crowd was
hmm
nuts. I really like
yeah.
the crowd. I thought it added to the show a
Sure.
lot. These foreign crowds are so fun because they're so hungry.
Hmm.
They're not jaded like us Americans, being
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
wrestling whenever we want live,
No doubt.
and seeing all these stars. And the first match was, I think, in my
The
opinion, my
best
favorite
one.
match of the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
It
Mhm.
was Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. And I didn't really know. I assumed that the Bloodline would win just because they're just starting this new version of it and
Yeah.
they want to look strong. And this was a really, really fun, no DQ kind of schmaz of a match. I
Hmm.
like that they went all over the crowd. The crowd was so nuts. What
Yeah.
was your reaction watching this?
Dude, it was awesome because like at times you saw like the camera shake, because it was so rowdy. It was like a soccer
Right.
game, a football game. Yeah, it was amazing, dude. And I agree that first match was killer. That was my favorite. As soon as it happened, I'm like, that's gonna be the best one, man. There's no way you can top that. It's gonna be hard to top,
Yeah.
man. Hard act to follow. And it was. But yeah, I mean, then we got that new brother in there. I guess
Yeah.
what
Tongaloa.
yeah, I guess what he was him and his brother were what Gorillas
Yeah, so
Destruction
Gorillas
or
of
was it
Destiny.
Gorillas
So
of Destiny?
Gorillas,
Yeah.
Gorillas of Destiny. So you haven't watched New Japan,
Right,
so
right.
I'm curious. Like for me, I knew who that was. Not to brag, but like I know these guys because
Seasons. Yeah, seasons.
I
Yeah.
follow this stuff. But as someone who doesn't follow it,
Mhm.
when you saw him pull out, like what was your initial reaction? Like were you just like, who the hell is this guy? It's like, oh no, there's another Bloodline member. How did you?
Yeah,
How
I
did you
heard
take it?
speculation of like another Bloodline member, but I heard it was like a different member than everyone was speculating. So at first I thought it was that guy until I heard who he was. I was like, oh, okay. And then just kind of put two and
I
two
see.
together. Yeah.
So you thought it was Jacob Fatu just because of the rumors
Yeah,
online.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I see. Yes, that's what I thought. I was expecting Jacob Fatu to show up as well, based on the rumors, and I think this is why sometimes online rumors could kind of ruin stuff because it creates
Yeah.
expectations that WWE
Sure.
never really put out there. But
Mhm.
in this case, they kind of took those expectations and swerved you a little because
Yeah.
they brought out somebody else, and I was genuinely surprised to see Tongaloa. It makes sense. I think Gorillas of Destinies are a fun tag team, and Tama Tonga is really good, but somebody needs to be taking pinfalls, and Tama Tonga can't take it, and certainly Solo Sikoa can't take the pinfalls, but Tongaloa certainly can.
There you
So he'll be very useful there, and with the addition of Jacob Fatu, I'm not sure if you've seen the clips on social media of the reels of his work on the indies, but Jacob Fatu is insane. He does crazy moonsault stuff. He's
Oh, wow.
very
Cool.
agile for like a 300-pound guy.
Oh, wow. Geez. I guess were they members, original members of the Bullet Club as well?
Tama Tonga was one of the original
Okay.
members of Bullet Club. It was he was one of the founding members, along with Finn Balor, actually, and
Oh wow.
Machine Gun Carl Anderson, who are also all
And the
now in
OC.
WWE. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see a reformation of that or not really? It probably is going to keep them separate.
I'm wondering if they're going to cross paths because I believe they're all on SmackDown, so they might. Be
Yeah,
interesting to see
that'd be
what they do
cool.
with that.
That'd be cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so after that, we saw the women's title match with Bailey, who the crowd absolutely loved.
Uh-huh.
Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Actually, the crowd loved all three of these women. I
Yeah.
thought this was a really, really fun match. Bailey's having a really good moment, and Tiffany Stratton is delivering. She's going to be such a huge star.
Yeah, she's outstanding. Yeah.
What did you think of this match?
Man, I love Tiffany Stratton. I think she's so great. I'm not a big Bailey fan. I get her importance and things she's done for the whole entire WWE and women in the league. It's great stuff. But for this character work that's going on now, I feel like she was a bad guy that got betrayed by bad guys. So I feel like that doesn't make you a good guy. And there's been no repercussions for that. They kind of touched on that very briefly with not Jade Cargill, but Bianca Belair. And she's like, kind of got in her face a little bit and it says, oh, damage control's been after me my whole entire career, and looked at Bailey, and Bailey just kind of like walked off. Where it's like, all right, well,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for finally addressing that. Like
She
you're
hasn't
still in the
forgiven.
dirt. Yeah, I mean, people haven't forgiven Jey Uso for stuff. It's like, come on, man. Like, so I don't know. I feel like that should have happened earlier instead of being like, oh, she's a baby face. It's like, no, not really, not yet, man. She hasn't really earned that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as it goes with Tiffany Stratton, I think she's awesome. I think she'll probably win Money in the Bank. I think I can see her now with like a whole entire bejeweled suitcase.
Good prediction.
Again,
Yeah, she'll turn it into like a pink suitcase.
yeah, I think so.
That's a
I mean,
good prediction.
yeah.
I could see her do.
Thank you.
She could be a great Miss Money in the Bank. I think that's a good one.
Do you think she would win Queen of the Ring as well and have a double title there going on?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm curious. I feel
Maybe.
like Gunther on the male side is going to
Yeah.
win King of the Ring. Yeah, Queen of the Ring. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't studied the brackets as closely.
I think it's going to be either
Gunther.
Gunther or Jey Uso for King of the Ring. I think it might be kind of tough there. But I want to lean towards Gunther as well.
Yeah, I think he needs like a big win now after losing
Yeah.
the IC title because I
Yeah.
feel like they're pushing him to the main event.
Man, I did not like him losing that, dude. I wanted him to keep that so bad. I mean, if he was going to lose it, I think I wanted him to lose it to Chad Gable and not Sami Zayn. I feel like Sami Zayn has his flowers many times before, and I think kind of Chad needed to win there. And I feel like it was time for him to win. But I do, am enjoying the heel turn for him. Makes him a little more interesting, I guess. But and I guess
Yeah,
it
it's
was
cool
like
that they're giving him stuff to do.
Yeah, finally, yeah. And I like the rumor too that Kurt Angle might be his kind of coach or whatever, his manager. I think that'd be awesome to get him back in there. But yeah, we'll see what develops with that. But I like that rumor.
Yeah, then we have the World Heavyweight title match with Damian Priest and Jey Uso. This may have just by default been the weakest match of the show, and it was still a good match. And truthfully, like this match, the purpose of this match wasn't to have like a banger. It was to advance the storyline of the Judgment Day and their dissension. And in that sense, it was a success. So I don't want to be a douchey smark right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could have been best entrance of the night, best entrance.
That's true.
The
That
crowd
was
was
really
going
cool.
off with the lights and stuff and making them bounce. And yeah, it was good, man. That was cool.
Yeah, and Damien as champion is really cool. He's really been owning the moment and stepping
Yeah.
up to the role, and it's cool that they're putting him in this position. And
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
as a
finally some-
metalhead as world champion.
Yeah, and it is true. And then finally some character development as well, where it shows he wants to do it himself. He doesn't want the Judgment Day, interrupting or even doing those, post beat ups after the match.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
threw
that
him
was
off,
interesting.
and that was interesting. And he apologized for it. I think the next show, I think
Yeah.
it might have been on Raw, but we're slowly seeing, the dissolvement. I think there. So it's good. They're kind of starting that, and planting the seeds for that. So.
And then we had the women's tag match with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus
Yeah.
the Kabuki Warriors. Were you familiar with Jade Cargill from AEW, or
I was,
your first
yeah.
exposure? Okay, so
Yeah.
how did you feel about this one and seeing the?
Dude, I knew off the bat they were winning just right away. As soon as that match
Yeah.
was announced, as soon as they were announced, like in the bracket to be to get to this match, I was like, oh, they're gonna win. They're the next tag team champions. There's like no contest. And just wait for everything to fall in line and the dominoes to fall and see it happen. But yeah, I mean, I felt so bad for like the Kabuki Warriors. Like it showed kind of like the behind the scenes, them walking to the arena and they're like holding their luggage and they just look so sad, depressed because you can like they know they're gonna lose.
Right.
But
That's so funny how
I
you
love
could
Kabuki
tell.
Warriors, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a
Yeah.
bummer, but whatever.
No, I
It's time.
wanted Bianca and Jay to win the tag
Mhm.
team titles the moment they were in the ring together at Royal Rumble in
Yeah, yeah.
January when they both did that like press slam. I was like,
So
ah,
sick.
I
So
want them
sick.
to be like a superhero tag team and then like have the titles for like a year or whatever, be the longest reigning champions, and then have a huge feud after breaking up. And it just, I love how they're treating Jade, how they're taking care of her. I think Jade
Mhm.
is such a superstar. Obviously, Bianca's
Yeah.
already a superstar,
Yeah.
and it's so cool how Bianca's giving Jade a bit of her rub.
Yeah.
And they're an awesome tag team. I'm very excited to see what they do with them and how they work with all the other women. And also, I hope that Jade could pick up a few things from Bianca. Obviously,
Oh,
Bianca's
no
been
doubt.
at the top of her game for many years now, and so this is good too because since Bianca isn't quite in the world title picture at the moment, just because of different storylines, it keeps
Mhm.
her busy, and it helps prepare Jade for her eventual title run. So I think
Absolutely.
I'm all about this, and this was a good match as well. It didn't overstay its welcome.
Mhm.
I thought the finish was very, very cool. The way the Jade picked up Kyrie into the jaded, and the
She's
crowd
just so
absolutely loved it.
tiny, yeah.
Yeah,
Just flopping around like you're swing dancing, man. Just that's just so tiny. Yeah, I felt bad for her. Who do you think is going to do the heel turn? Do you think it's going to be Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill?
well, I feel like Jade would be the better heel, so
Hmm.
I would hope it would be her. Because Bianca, I think, works better as a face. The crowd
Sure.
loves to cheer. I guess really the crowd loves to cheer Jade right now too. But we've seen she does a really good heel act,
Yeah.
and she's more naturally heelish. So
Yeah.
I
I'd like
think
to
I think that
see
would work.
Bianca go heel, like Bianca,
Oh,
but at the same time, she is a great baby face, a great face, but it's like she does so much charity work too, so it's like I feel like she doesn't want to go heel to, continue doing
right.
charity work and interacting with the children and the kids and you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think it probably will be Jade. I'm here
Yeah, and
for it.
then we had the main event, which, by the way, love a 5 match card.
Mm.
And I want to mention this because this was in Europe and here on the East Coast, Europe, France at least is like 5 hours ahead. This show for me was at 1 p.m. Eastern time. What a great thing. I wish all wrestling pay-per-views were on a Saturday afternoon
Dude,
because
yeah.
I've had this problem where I have not been able to make it to some main events. I just pass
Hmm.
out by like 9:30, 10, and then I watch the rest of it the next morning. This way it's like, oh, watch it in the afternoon. You have the whole day ahead of you.
I'm trying to remember what time Crown Jewel was on because I'm on Eastern time as well. That was pretty brutal. I remember
That was
Crown Jewel
early.
having it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it live, but I avoided spoilers. Also, now I'm less prone to caring about spoilers in the
Mm-hmm.
sense like, oh,
Sure.
all right, I don't. It's not that serious. But I'd rather not know. I'd rather be surprised, certainly. But if I
Mhm.
do, it's not. I'm not as upset. But anyway, we had the world title match. Cody Rhodes' first title defense. He
Yeah.
picked a great person, I think, to have the defense against because this was a wonderful match against AJ Styles. The crowd loved AJ Styles. There's some song
Yeah.
in French called Phenomenal. And so every time, like every 15 seconds, they were chanting Phenomenal, Phenomenal, and then some other French words I don't know. Uh, what were your thoughts on this match?
Oh, it was awesome. I love seeing the crowd go crazy for AJ, man. He just deserves it. So, it's just he's been everywhere. And you can tell he just appreciated it so much.
Oh,
I think
absolutely. Yeah.
they're using like his age thing as like a storyline where, he's hinted in his personal life, in his personal life that he's kind of thinking of retiring sometime soon, and then maybe the next year or two. And I think they're kind of using that in the story where it's like, oh, I, I I think Cody said something about like, oh, who said you weren't? Who's trying to say you were too old or something like that? He's like saying, don't give me that. You watched me when you were a kid, kind of spiel. Uh, But yeah, it's cool, man. I love seeing the crowd go wild for AJ, and that was the specific point when the camera was shaking up and down.
Yeah,
Like that was
yeah,
like the
absolutely. During the
highest crowd
intro.
reaction. Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, that's so cool, man. Great match too. And you're right. Yeah, what better match could there have been for Cody's first one for to defend the title?
Yeah, do you like Cody Rhodes as champion? Do you think he should have been crowned at
Yeah,
WrestleMania? Was that a fun moment for you to witness live?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, just because Roman had it for so long, so yeah, it's just that definitely, a change of the guard was important and I guess kind of needed in a lot of people's eyes. But I was kind of, becoming like a big Roman fan too at the same time when at first I didn't start that way at all. Now I have like a mentality where it's like, knowledge is knowing why you should root for the good guy, but like wisdom is rooting for the bad guy anyways. You know, and it's like, really loves to seeing Roman. I love seeing the boos and the crowd interaction. I know it's great, man. I'm really excited for his return more than anything, and I'm probably gonna pick up the Air Jordan crossover that he puts out. Some shoes, hopefully. I think that's gonna happen. His own line of Air Jordans, Air
Oh.
Romans. So that's in the works, I think I heard. So yeah.
So I'm curious now, like, what did your who are your wife's favorite wrestlers? Like who does she root for? Is she more into the women? Does she like it all? Does she have favorites? Do you guys
I,
clash about who you like?
she really loves Drew McIntyre. She absolutely loves Drew McIntyre. Yeah. So that's her favorite. And we love seeing the CM Punk beef that's going on right now. It's a lot of fun for both of us. Um and we're laughing at that one show where CM Punk was going into the booth box seats and ran into a girl backstage. She had a sign that said CM Poop, and he was laughing at that and signed it for her and took pictures and stuff, and that was cool. And she had a Drew McIntyre shirt. But yeah, we like Drew a lot. So I mean, we're we're so stoked to see him win at against Seth Rollins. And then when Damian Priest came out, she was just like she wanted to cry so bad. She was just so disappointed. I felt so bad for her. But
That was such
yeah,
a fun moment, though,
it
too.
was yeah.
I can imagine the shock, but that's pro wrestling, baby.
Yep. Yep.
She got like
Absolutely.
a moment she'll remember forever. Just that rush of emotion followed by that deflation.
Yeah, man. Wrestling will break your heart, man. Yeah. And that was like probably the best entrance of the night too, Seth Rollins and Drew's when they came out. That was like the biggest spectacle. One thing I noticed that for WrestleMania 40, there was like hardly any fireworks or pyrotechnics. Like it
Yeah,
was
I
just
noticed that as
minimal,
well.
man. Dude, yeah. So I'm excited for 41 in Vegas. I really hope it's going to be a bigger spectacle and fireworks, and maybe there might even be a Raw or SmackDown rumored to be inside the dome or new arena that they just built. So that'd be kind of cool. I'm
Oh,
not
in
sure
the
how that would
stadium,
work
you
out.
mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, that new one they built that's like, they have a projection on the outside where like U2 is playing all the time.
Oh, the sphere. You mean the
The
sphere?
Sphere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so rumored to be a Raw or SmackDown in there or both, but yeah, I'm not sure how the logistics would work, but I think that'd be awesome.
That would be
That would get me
crazy
there.
to have that
Mhm.
that giant screen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure quite how that would work, but
Right.
that would be wild. Yeah, I just assume it'd be in T-Mobile Arena, just because it's right across the street from the
Yeah.
giant stadium that
It
they're
makes more
doing.
sense
But
for sure.
it's going to be an insane party, I'm sure. And all the
Mhm.
did you when you were in Philly? Did you
Mhm.
go to any of the peripheral wrestling shows, like all the indie shows, or did you get to
Yeah, I
anything
went
else?
to NXT Stand and Deliver.
Mhm.
And that was awesome. Knuckles was there from Sonic and Knuckles. He
Oh,
was
that's right.
sitting behind the announcer
Hanging
booth,
out.
and they had some stuff in the arena. You can hit like a punching bag there and do photo ops with them and stuff. But yeah, that was a great show, man. Carmelo Anthony versus Trick Williams, and everyone, the whole entire place was going for crazy for Trick Williams, yelling, whoop that trick. It was sick, dude. It was just the energy alone was amazing. Like I almost felt like the energy there at NXT Stand and Deliver was like almost bigger than WrestleMania the first night. And like the second night was crazy, absolutely bonkers. But I feel like the first night, I don't know, maybe it was too cold. I think it's just everyone was like freezing that
Oh
first night.
yeah.
So I think that everyone's kind of just in their chair, like hugging themselves and going, "Yay!" But the second night it was beautiful. So people were going crazy then. But yeah,
Cool. So as we wind down, I have one last question. If you could
sure.
take any professional wrestler to a metal show, let's say to a Napalm Death show, Because you're wearing their hat. Who would
Yeah, that's right.
which wrestler would you invite to step into the pit?
Dude, I'd love to hang with Stone Cold, man. You know, we both love drinking our
Go to a
beers and
show.
whiskey, yeah, dude. And I'd show him some maybe probably take him to like a doom metal show because he likes some like blues riffs. I can he's like a Texas boy too, like me. I was born in Texas, so I think he would dig those slow heavy riffs, man, and be like, what is this new genre? I don't know. I think he would dig it a lot. So that'd be a lot of fun, man.
Nice.
How about
And,
you? Yeah, how about you? What would you take?
I mean, Stone Cold's a great pick. I would absolutely I would love to hang out with Stone Cold. He seems like a good hang. Cody Rhodes seems like a good hang. Seth Rollins
Yeah.
would probably be going
Yeah,
nuts in the
for
mosh
sure.
pit.
Absolutely. Yeah, good call.
And
Good call.
yeah, that would be fun to go with him.
Who do you think would be
But
like the worst guy, the most boring guy, or like meanest guy? Like you'd be like, I don't want to invite that guy ever to anything.
it's a good question. Well, I don't think AJ Styles is particularly fond of heavy metal, so I don't think he'd have
Oh, that makes
a
sense.
great
Okay.
time. He's more of a hip hop guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Let's see who would be the worst. The worst one I think would be Ric Flair. He would just be at the bar. He'd be like, I
That's
don't care
funny.
about this music. I just
I'll-
want to get drunk.
I was thinking like Kevin Nash, maybe. He seems like a real grumpy guy, even though I
Ah.
love that guy. I love that guy, but like I feel like he would not have fun anywhere.
I seem to remember he brought his son to like a Warp Tour once.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Like there were photos of people at a Warp Tour with him.
Cool.
But awesome, man. And before we go, what are some $20 spin releases that people should be
Yeah.
spinning?
We just came out with the new Terminal Nation artwork
Oh,
by
sick.
Adam Burke. Yeah, it's a good one. It's doing pretty well. This is the Decibel magazine exclusive. I think they only made like 100 of them pressed. They might be sold out by now. I'm not quite sure, but they were getting real low. And then we just got the new Chimpotli albums out, some Native American doom metal.
Oh, wow.
So the new Chimpotli albums, amazing. Shipping those out right now. Like all the day one pre-orders are the main priority right now. And also we just got in the new I guess Cerebral Rot broke up recently and they became a new band, Corpus Offal, OFAL, and we just got their shirts finally came in. And so people were ordered the cassettes. We're almost sold out of the cassette, so get it while you can. And a lot of other cool stuff at 20buckspin.com, man. Yeah. Thanks for asking about that too, man. Yeah, it's
Oh, of
it's good
course.
stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time and hanging out with me, Jason. And
Dude, anytime. Absolutely. I love talking wrestling. I haven't done it with like anybody. So anytime,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to have you back for our future pay-per-view.
Please. Yeah.
Awesome, man. And thank you for entering the pit.